So, guys, you're welcome to the series of learning how to create a premium brand. It's very important you go with me in this session. And when I say you should go with me in this session, what I'm saying in essence is that don't miss any part of this video. And the only thing that can help you not to miss any part of this series is if you subscribe to this channel and you turn on your notification bell. So by the time I drop video, you get notified. Another thing that gives you edge is if you are commenting on every of our video and you are liking them, it shows that you are the first class member of this channel, and the algorithm will always notify you almost immediately that we drop a video. So don't miss this series because I don't want you to mix it. Do you get where I'm coming from? Don't miss it so that you're not going to mix it. So let's get started now. So I want to start by recommending some few books that we are going to be using for this particular course. I'm going to recommend close to 12 to 13 books, but I'm going to start with these very first two. You can either get them on Amazon to any part of the world that you might be, or you get their PDF. Actually, I don't recommend PDFs because all these authors, they put in effort to put all these things together. So if you now get them for free and you are sharing them on different designs group for people to utilize it for free, what you are doing is that you are contributing to the rate at which we have quality things to what to back on in this industry. And I'm very sure you don't want to be part of those people. So for those of you that always comes to my DM to come and ask for free PDFs and the likes, this is the reason why I don't always have one to share. Why? Because you are not letting those people see revenue from the time they invest in creating those books. Don't think you are doing people favor by sharing those free PDFs of people's hard work when it's not as if they are the one that put it out there for you for free. So please, let's try as much as possible to have some form of conscience within ourselves. So they are selling PDF. Amazon said PDF of all these books. So you can buy. If they cannot ship it to your side, you can buy the PDF of it. They are very, very cheap. Do you hear where I'm coming from now? And that will even let you see value of it more. I'm not saying this because I can afford these books, but I'm saying it because these are the things that I will not also want somebody to do for me. And I know you also don't want. Remember, every $1 that you spend it on how you want the world to look like. So let's get started. Now, the very first books that I'm going to be talking about in this video, or that we are going to be using in this series, is The Principle of Logo Design. The Principle of Logo Design is written by George Buckwell, and it's a very simplified book that helps you to understand the nitty gritty of logo design. That is, everything that makes up a logo design is what these books will help you to understand. So, like the general concepts of designing the logo, people argue about using grid, using pencil. You see, any method you want to use in creating your logo is allowed. Just use the one that suits you. And this book explain each of those methods and why one is preferable to the other one. And the fact that it's preferable to the other one does not make it better than the other one. So get me clear. So that's very first thing that you're going to learn in the first chapter of this book. Then it talks about types of logos and where to utilize them. That's one thing. A lot of people talks about types of logo, but they don't know when to use a particular one at a particular time. Now, let's take for instance that a client comes into your DM. What would the client tell you that they are looking for or aiming to achieve that will make you know that is a logo type that is good for them, or it is an icon that is good for them? I want you to tell me in the comment section. So this book talks about how to select types of logo for a particular brand, and also talks about your visuals. A lot of people can come up with a good logos, but when you look at their presentation, it's not good enough. Most of fine logos that you see out there, what makes you see that they are beautiful is the way the designer present the logo, the way they utilize their color, the way they utilize their typography in explaining the logo, how they arrange the things that they use to explain the logo is what really give it a very good and interesting feel that makes you want to be like them. If their visuals is not good enough, you might not like the result they are putting out, even if those results is so creative and shows how well they think. Recently, I have the opportunity to recruit for an agency, and one of the designers that attend that particular interview is a very good designer that can think deep. However, other people that are also part of the test, they are able to outshine him, that we could not go with him just because his visual is having problems. So this book talks about visual aspects of logo design as well, and also talk about a unhealthy design process. That's another thing that the books talk about. That is in chapter 4 of the book. You learn about design process, step by step, what you need to do to arrive at a final result. Not having a defined process is what makes a lot of designers fail when it comes to presenting their logo to clients. You don't want to be like that. So you learn that in this book. And the last part is the presentation. How do you present? Verbal presentation, presenting with PDF, like you send through email or you organize a Google Meet. How can you do all of that judiciously? This book also talk about it. So it's a very nice book that you should try to get and read it. Don't just get it, read it. I would have said I should sell my own to you, but buy your own. Okay, so the second book that we're going to be talking about in today's video is a very recent book. Yes, I think it's just last year. Yeah, and that's Logo That Lasts by Alan Peter. Why am I starting with this book that just came out last year? Is because there's something that makes you a respected logo designer, and that's when you can create a logo that lasts. Now, that will let me clarify some vocabulary, or let me say registers, that we use in design industry that a lot of beginners and intermediate does not understand. When I say somebody creates iconic logo does not mean a logo with an icon. No, that's what a lot of people think it is, but that's not what it is. When you create an iconic logo is what? A logo that survived the test of time. A logo that have spent minimum of 10 years in usage. That logo is an iconic mark. So don't think that when your logo has an icon, that means you have created an iconic logo. No, a logo that lasts is what we refer to as an iconic logo. And how do you know a logo that lasts? A logo that has been in use for over 10 years, minimum of 10 years, is actively in use. That logo is said to be an iconic mark. And that's to tell you that a lot of designers that you see out there, they have not actually created an iconic logo, including myself, because I've not spent up to 10 years in the industry. So the logos that I've created that has been in use now is just 4 years. So if that logo can survive the test of time to 10 years and more than 10 years with the actively use that they are using it now, then I can say I have created what? An iconic mark. So what makes you create an iconic logo? This book explains it. And I'll just briefly talk about 10 things that this book mentioned that makes a logo last. And out of these 10 things, 7 things out of the 10 is what you have control over. But 3 out of it, you don't have control on it at all. But those 3, they are the key factor that can make your logo iconic. But it's so saddening that you don't have control over those 3. Are you getting where I'm coming from now? So you want to know them? Get this book. So if you can go through this book, you tend to learn the method of the designer, that is the designer who actually wrote this book. You learn the method in which he's using to come up with logo. But the most important thing I want you to pick in this book is to understand those 10 things that makes you create a logo that lasts. And if you care, you can learn about the method the designer is also using in creating his what? Logo. And this will be the end of this class. I hope you find this video useful. So in our next class, we'll talk about other books that we are meant to use for this course. So if you can read all these books, digest them and understand them very well, it will help you to corroborate whatever you are putting out and helps you to correct other designers politely with what? With a reference. Because one of the things that makes you feel like you don't know enough today is the fact that you cannot back what you are saying with proof or evidence. And what is evidence? Something that somebody has done before that has yielded a result, another person has done it, has yielded a result, and you can quote those people as a reference to what you also say. It makes it what a nice thing to do. Until then, let's keep creating.